Welcome back to 52 Licks. We're going to move on and hit some Brian Blade solos from that Magnificent Seven book. I've been working on one from a track called I Mean You. It's a YouTube clip of Kenny Barron's trio playing it. He's got some cool breaks up front, and he also does a little bit of trading at the end. Man, this is a great little example of a lot of the different phrases I've been talking about over this series, and this whole solo is riddled with them. It just shows you how useful just the common jazz vocabulary is if you really know it and know its essential elements, and then all the different ways you can move it around. Man, it makes a huge impact on your playing if you can absorb all these different elements and check out all the different ways that all these great jazz drummers have used them. This solo is a great example of that. I'm going to pull a lick that incorporates some of the stuff that you'll already know, but a few other little elements. But the whole little phrase is very cool. It's from part of the trading at the end, and it goes like this, kind of slow. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So a nice little short phrase. First of all, your left hand, the whole thing starts on the and of one. Your left hand is constant. It's your right hand that does the work. So your left hand is going to be constantly playing eighth notes in the first phrase. So your left hand just goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Your right hand is the one that goes So 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. The only thing I would say is that, and Dushan actually notated it this way, which I can hear on the track is correct, and it's usually done this way. We're actually trying to play unisons when we play drum to drum. However, when we go to the snare drum, it turns into a flam, and I don't think that's an inaccuracy on Blade's part. Like, all of a sudden he can't play flat flams on the snare drum. It's that it sounds good to play double stops with you on different surfaces. However, on the same surface, we get that kind of weird flat flam trampoline effect. So, and also our ears hear two sounds when we're doing this. I still want to hear two sounds on the snare drum. So be aware that these are unison in between the other notes. When we go to here, excuse me, they're going to turn into flams. And really punch that last hit, and 2 and 3 and 4. It hit on 4. The next phrase, we actually have already covered a version of this, excuse me, earlier on with Joe Morello. These are just double paradiddles, which sound like double time at this tempo. That's it. Now you can play those. He definitely is playing double paradiddles. It gives a little bit of a lilt to it. Digga, 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 digga. You could also single them if you want. To me, as always, it depends on what kind of sound you're going for. Understand that the rhythm is the same, the inflection is slightly different. So I'm a big fan of working on both of those and getting both inflections down. There's other stickings for it. You can play a 6-stroke roll. There's a variance of stickings, but it's just 6 strokes. So, but he's definitely playing the paradiddle diddle. And then I think is really hip is we always talk about punctuation. Coming out of that fairly common like bebop double time phrase, he adds this great punctuation at the end of that phrase where it's all cymbals and bass drum, and he's got 3 ride cymbals up, so he goes from right to left. He'll go right, right, left, right, right, left, and that's the end of the phrase. So he kind of works his way to the right of the kit and then works his way back over to the left of the kit. Whole phrase, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can try to even play it a little faster. And then try the single stroke version. We talked about the punctuation. I'm also a big fan of popping that last note, do-da-day, right? Even a slight crescendo. He plays a similar cymbal phrase with the bass drum earlier in his trading, and the crescendo is more obvious. He pushes his way through it. It gives it a little extra shape, doesn't come off so flat, and as I keep repeating, it gives us some punctuation or the end. We talk about playing phrases, right? Well, a phrase needs to sound like it has a beginning and an end. I know I'm a broken record. I'm trying to get across the point. These little details separate guys just learning these random licks and stringing them together, and guys who actually take this vocabulary and turn it into usable vocabulary that they can change around and make their own, but still sound like little sentences with a beginning part, a middle part, and something that sounds like an end. All right, good luck.